Here is the news at 7. I am Akan Usen. Lagos State Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu has hailed the Super Eagles for their performance at the just concluded 2024 Africa Cup of Nations AFCON in Côte d'Ivoire. Sanwo-Olu said the players deserve commendation for their superb performance in the competition despite losing at the final stage. The governor commended the players, the coaching crew and the entire management of the team for making Nigeria proud at the competition by reaching the final against all odds. He said the Super Eagles fought gallantly to advance to the final of the Africa Cup of Nations by defeating many countries, noting that the participation of the team in the final is a testament to the determination, resilience and commitment of the Super Eagles to the competition. Governor Sanwo-Olu provided venues for Lagos residents to watch the AFCON matches at the Mobolaji Johnson Sports Arena and 26 other centers across the state, urged Nigerians to continue to support national teams in future competitions. Lagos State Government has issued a 4-day relocation notice to all squatters under the Obalende Bridge, as well as illegal motorbike operators and buses who have moved to the main road in furtherance of the quest for a sustainable environment. Commissioner for the Environment and Water Resources, Tokunbo Wahab, stated this during an inspection tour of Obalende, Akpobo, Ibutero and Ijora for environmental infractions in the company of his transportation counterpart, Oluwaseun Oshiemi. Wahab said all shanties and their dwellers, traders, squatters, cattle rearers and abandoned vehicles presently under Obalende Bridge must vacate the area by Thursday afternoon, as enforcement will commence in the early hours of Friday. He added that all the commercial vehicle operators who have turned the main roads in Obalende into parking lots should relocate to the various parks provided for them, because the government has had enough of the defacement of the aesthetics of Obalende by the operators, and it must be restored. Also, the Commissioner for Transportation, Oluwaseun Oshiemi, said the Ministry of Transportation's collaboration with the Environment and Water Resources has been beneficial to the state government in delivering its mandate. The Lagos Environmental Sanitation Corps, LAGESC, popularly known as KAI, has conducted an enforcement operation to dislodge touts and miscreants constituting nuisance on the Oshodi and Ikeja long pedestrian bridges. Corps Marshal of the agency, Olatumosun Cole, said the enforcement operation was carried out following the outcry of Lagosians about the nefarious activities of miscreants occupying some pedestrian bridges along major expressways in the state, and the recurrent harassment meted out to unsuspecting pedestrians, which discourages the use of these bridges for safety. Cole said there is need for removal of all human and environmental infractions which pose threats to the appropriate usage of pedestrian bridges by pedestrians. He affirmed the resolve of the agency to consolidate on the ongoing enforcement, saying that any person found constituting threat to the safety of pedestrians on highways will be apprehended and prosecuted by the courts to serve as deterrents to others. Cole also stressed the need for Lagos residents in transit to make appropriate use of the bridges for their safety instead of crossing highways, as any errant pedestrian apprehended by KAI operatives will equally face prosecution. For the rising spate of kidnapping and insecurity across the country, the Lagos State House of Assembly has called on the National Assembly to commence urgent constitutional amendment to allow for the creation of state police. Speaker of the House, Mudashiru Obasa, who made the call at resumption of plenary, expressed concern over the pervasive insecurity in the country, emphasizing the urgent need for state police in order to combat the menace and other forms of criminalities. Other lawmakers who echoed the call for state police equipping and strengthening of the Lagos State Neighborhood Safety Agency to better protect the lives of Lagosians also suggested other measures to be taken urgently. The House resolved that there is urgent need to allocate a specific percentage of Security Trust Fund to empower and strengthen the neighborhood security outfit in the state, while also stressing the need to engage youths in different sporting activities. The newly deployed Permanent Secretary, Office of Urban Development, Shudaindi Nuruddin, has charged officials of the Lagos State Building Control Agency, LABCA, not to condone illegality in the discharge of their functions, but to help developers and builders to ensure compliance to building codes and best practices in the built industry. Shudaindi gave the charge at the inaugural meeting with officials of LABCA at the agency's headquarters in Ikeja. The permanent secretary, while expressing his confidence in the ability of the professionals in the agency to stem the tide of building collapses and illegalities in the built industry in the state, calls for concerted efforts from all members of staff, especially those on the field, to ensure that the mandate of the agency is achieved. He pleaded with officers of the agency not to compromise in its daily activities of ensuring the safety and stability of structures across Lagos. Earlier, in his welcome remark, General Manager of the agency, Bono Oki, described the redeployment of the Permanent Secretary to the Office of Urban Development as homecoming and in familiar terrain. Oki pledged the maximum cooperation of officers of the agency in ensuring the success of the Permanent Secretary in his new assignment. Just before we go, carry out proper and adequate checks on your vehicles before setting out. You can follow us and like all our various social media platforms on X, formerly Twitter, Lagos Traffic 961, Instagram, Lagos Traffic Radio 961, Facebook, Lagos Traffic Radio 96.1 FM. On YouTube, subscribe and watch us live on our channel, Traffic Radio 961. Did you know that the Sanwo-Olu administration empowered over 1,000 residents at the third phase of the Mega Empowerment Program? You can get more details on the Lagos State Government's website. For contact with the newsroom, please send a message to Lagos Traffic Radio at lagostate.gov.ng. And that ends the news broadcast compiled by Zainab Adebeshi. I am Akan Usen. Thanks for listening and please stay safe. Good evening.